I'll officially say good morning. My name is Zoe Brokus, and this conference is made possible each year thanks to the University of New England and the City of Portland's Public Health Division, specifically the University of New England's Center for Excellence in Collaborative Education, which I think is just really, really works for what this conference is all about. I'd also really like to thank all of our sponsors we have this year. I'm always really proud of the sponsors that want to participate in this conference, and this year everyone just really went above and beyond. So the Maine Association of Recovery Residences, Spurwink, Health Equity Alliance, the Center for Excellence in the Neurosciences, Cooking for a Community, Breaking the Cycle, Beacon Sober Living, Grace House for Women, Planned Parenthood of Northern New England, Journey House Recovery, Sequel Care, and Bangor Public Health. You really made it possible for us to allow numerous people to have scholarships. We provided over 100 this year, which is incredible. And really, we turned everything upside down and inside out as we created this virtually. There was things we really wanted and didn't want for a virtual conference, but our goal today is really to increase access to education around harm reduction and the work that we all collectively do here, and really try to keep today as interactive as we can. I certainly am missing seeing everyone in person and giving hugs and saying hi. We're all in our collective boxes here. But please engage in the chat. There's a bunch of discussion threads, and people have been posting articles, and our exhibitor booth, which is where you'll find it in Hoover, that's where all of our sponsors are. And so there's videos, there's all kinds of different content. There's some extra special guests there who aren't technically sponsors, but who we really wanted to highlight as part of this conference. So please go ahead and check that out there. Couple of housekeeping notes. If you are having technical difficulties, don't worry, type your questions in the Q&A and someone will assist you. We have people standing by. I don't even know where they are. They're out there floating around, but they are here to assist. So Glenn and I are going to hang out on track 1. That's where everyone is right now. After we finish talking, we're going to have our keynote address also here, and then there'll be different tracks with different workshops. We're going to come back together at lunchtime. So the way I've been explaining it is like we're the big conference room. So please come back and join us at lunchtime if you want, or take a break, bring your lunch, chat with us. There's also a naloxone training and the ability to check out the booths. There are, let's see, what else was I going to say? I think that is mostly what I was going to say. Just please also know that while you're in a workshop, you can click around. So your video, just like when you're multitasking in a Zoom meeting, your video will travel with you. So if you want to look at exhibitor booths or you want to chat with some other participants, please do so. That is part of the reason why we chose this platform, is because we really wanted people to be able to move around as much as possible. So I'm gonna pass it over to my co-host now that I've gotten those technical pieces out of the way.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Appreciate all the work that's been going on behind the scenes in this new technological world of Zoom conferences. We're probably all a little zoomed out, right? Over the last few months that we've all been working this way. So remember to, take a break, stretch, have a coffee. Remember to support each other as we embark on this virtual conference today. Hey, everybody, I'm Glenn Simpson. I'm an artist and advocate and activist. I'm also a clinician who practices harm reduction strategies with folks and families in my psychotherapy practice. I'm also a person in long-term recovery, and excited to be here with all of you today. I've been coming to the Harm Reduction Conference for a number of years, and I was flipping through some old photos, and I had literally hundreds of selfies with so many of you that I know are in attendance today. So I'll continue the tradition, but it's not really the same, right? Last year, I was really honored to give the keynote, and the topic was everything that I knew about recovery was wrong. And while I still get things wrong, we all still get a lot right. And I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you today. I'm looking forward to hearing our keynote with Donna DeConti Brown a little later on. We're here today to connect, to collaborate, to create energy. That energy is still there, even virtually like this. When I first came to the Harm Reduction Conference, I was talking with Zoe about this earlier this week. The first time I came to the Harm Reduction Conference, I felt a little intimidated. I felt afraid that I might say the wrong thing. I might use some wrong language. There were some real harm reduction heroes on panels that I really looked up to, and maybe I felt a little bit intimidated. And if this is your first time here, it's okay. It's okay to feel that way. What is harm reduction? The spirit of harm reduction for me is really about, the social justice piece of it, which is about empowering people, which is about, well, it's essentially about love, right? So let's bring that spirit to today's conference. That it's okay to make a mistake. We encourage you to connect in all the ways that we can, using the chat. Let's really embrace this community and maybe set aside the ideas of us versus them, and really bring the spirit and the values of harm reduction to this conference today, and let it inform our work as we move forward today, tomorrow, next month, over the next year.
And I think that's what we really want to just carry throughout the conference today. Let's really embody harm reduction as we go through the day today. All questions are good. Everyone should be here. Everyone's path is different that brought them here today. So let's just be gentle with each other. There are some heavy topics today. There always are. Glenn's right. Take care of yourself, but let's also take care of each other. If this is your first time here learning about harm reduction, welcome. We are so glad you're here. There's been so much interest over the year. Just this year, I've seen so much growth from different areas related to substance use or mental health, or just the medical world in general is really embracing this new way. So if you are new to harm reduction, or you've been doing this work for 40 years, you are right where you should be today. So we're so glad to have you.
And I'd like to add too, one last thing before, some other folks begin joining us here. You'll notice in the community section, there's an option to add a photo in the gallery. And we're really fortunate to have Carrie Morissette from the Church of Safe Injection with us, who's already started adding pictures of, folks that we've loved and lost to overdose over the last year. So we ask that you take a look at the gallery throughout the day, that you add a photo of someone that you love, someone that you lost. Every one of those losses is painful. Painful for the families, painful for the communities. And we can do better. We can do better. When we're talking about substance use disorder, we're not talking about a social issue, a criminal justice issue. We're talking about a brain issue. This is a preventable and treatable brain disorder. And I think I just have to mention here at the beginning, one of the folks who was instrumental in me expanding upon the work that I've done. And we had some great conversations and some great laughs too. And that's our friend and our colleague, Jesse Harvey, that we lost this summer. And I'd like to, just take a moment to recognize Jesse and the tireless work that he did in the spirit of love and acceptance and empowerment. And as we were talking as organizers this year, we were thinking about a way to honor that work and honor the people that continue to do that work. And so we've created something called the Jesse Harvey Harm Reduction Hero Award. And there's a poll, it'll pop up in the chat a little, it might be up there right now. And we'd like to direct folks to add a nomination, to nominate someone who's doing this work, that's doing Jesse's work, that's doing harm reduction work in our community. We know it's probably not the best nomination process, but that's what we got today, and we want to honor, our friend and a colleague and a person that we truly loved, Jesse Harvey.
So that link should be popping up shortly. So yes, please. I mean, we kind of, like Glenn said, this was not a planned award by any means. So this process it is what it is this year. So please, feedback and ideas are absolutely welcome for next year, but we're going to try this out as a way to remember Jesse and to honor really that idea that there are so many people here today. And he was so instrumental in this conference over the years, either as a presenter or planning committee member. It felt like we had to keep him in the room today.
Yeah, he's certainly here with us today. That spirit and that energy, it's here, and I miss it. As we shift gears and we get going this morning, I'd like to take the moment to introduce one of our platinum level sponsors, Ron and Brittany from the Maine Association of Recovery Residences. Welcome to both of you, and we'd love to get an overview of the Maine Association of Recovery Residences of MAR. Good morning.
Good morning, Glenn. Ron, are you there? Okay, well, oh, there you go.
Are we okay?
Yep.
Oh, we're getting a little feedback. I'm going to mute. I don't know.
Oh, Ron seems to have disappeared.
Okay, well, that's all right. I'm still here.
We'll put me on the spot. No problem.
All right, here we go. So the Maine Association of Recovery Residences, dubbed MAR, which is what we call it, is a 501c6 trade organization that was primarily started about 4 years ago by a group of owner-operators in the area who saw a real need for some standardization, some ethical guidelines for sober living. And so they formed the board, and it was primarily run by just volunteers for a few years. And last year, actually almost exactly a year ago, Ron and I became the first full-time employees of the Maine Association of Recovery Residences. We were funded through a grant through the Office of Behavioral Health. And so really in November, we kind of hit the ground running because the board members had been trying their best, but there were, just a few people. We have grown so much in the past year. It's really crazy. We've been really busy. I think Ron's back on, so I'll add to him to tell a little bit. I guess, Ron, I kind of gave the background. If you want to share a little bit about what we actually do, that'd be great.
Sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, was that a yes?
Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Brittany. I did hear your coaching introduction and some of the history of MAR. So MAR's the mainstay affiliate of the National Alliance, which started about 11 or 12 years ago by a group of like-minded people from around the country. There are now 30 states that are affiliates of the National Alliance, so Maine is one of those. MAR actually began about 4 years ago, and Brittany gave you some of the information about how we got started. At that time in the state, we have what we estimate to be about 75 or 80 recovery residences in 2016. None were certified at the national standard by MAR, the NAR affiliate. Happy to report that as of today, there are 46 certified recovery houses. So in just those few short years, a lot of progress has been made. 70% of those allow MAT. They come in all different shapes and sizes, but they only represent certified houses in 8 of the 16 counties in Maine. So there's still a lot of work to be done. And also the 70 remaining recovery houses that are not certified really have no accountability, no oversight, only the goodwill of the operators. And we've found that the quality of those uncertified houses is really sort of all over the place. Most do a fairly good job, but it's hard to tell. We just don't get that much information. So we do recommend looking at our website, and it's posted with our information, with our vendor information. The website has been updated recently. You can actually apply for membership on the website, but most importantly, you can look at the directory of Maine certified houses and reach out to them to seek services for a loved one. Let me stop there, see if we have any questions before we move on. Would that be okay?
Yeah, thanks, Ron. So I wanted to kind of put you all on the spot and ask this sort of very large question, but what do you think one of the biggest obstacles is right now in Maine recovery housing? Where are you seeing challenges, and where can we as a community assist with that, or how can we assist with that?
Well, we have significant challenges. First of all, the pandemic has made sober living much more difficult. Just all the logistics you can think of, taking a new person into a residence where you've been very careful to avoid infection. Now you're taking a person who you don't know what their status is with respect to the COVID-19 virus. That creates a lot of uncertainty. The lack of connection to support programs of all different types makes houses feel like they're more isolated. So as a community, I think one thing we can do is reach out to the houses, the ones in our neighborhood, or if we know someone that lives in the house, and connect with them, even if it's only virtually, knowing that there's other people in the community. The houses can connect to each other, but other groups in the community can reach out also. We have larger issues though too. I already mentioned the geographic disparity, that we have 8 counties without a single certified resident. Some of those don't have any residences at all. And then we have problems closer to home. If we just look at the Portland area, we have no certified house in the city of Portland for men that allows medication-assisted treatment. You would think that we would. We have many excellent places that that are for men and women in the city, but none that permit MAT. So that's really been an issue that no one's stepped forward to develop that yet.
And that brings me to a question that I received yesterday, aimed at you, Ron, and MAR's view on medication-assisted recovery. So many folks struggling that use medication to assist in their recovery have difficulties finding that key piece to their journey, which is housing. And we're curious of MAR's view on medication-assisted recovery, and what can we do as a community, connecting with recovery residences that perhaps are undereducated.
Well, thank you, Glenn, for an excellent question. Let me go start in reverse with the last part of your question first. I don't think it's completely a matter of education when it comes to the houses that do not permit MAT. For some, it's simply a matter of their philosophy. They may have a very strict 12-step philosophy, but it's not just that. To have MAT in the house also requires certain staffing, certain materials, lock boxes, and policy procedures, and really enough staff to oversee the type of administration, the double lockbox, observed self-administration procedure that we recommend. Not everyone is set up to do that. But the good news is that whereas 4 years ago when MAR started, there was only one house in the state that accepted MAT, Now 70% of the MAR certified houses embrace medication-assisted treatment. So that's significant progress. I think to the point that Jesse used to make to me all the time, and in his memory, I'll bring it up, that he felt it was rank discrimination for any house not to accept medication-assisted treatment. I think certainly the pendulum is swinging much more in the direction of permission, but all pathways to recovery, all environments for sober living, I think should also be embraced. So there's a balance that probably exists there.
Thank you, Ron.
Great. I was just looking to see if there were any questions in the chat, which I don't see. So thank you both so much for being here, and thank you to MAR for sponsoring our event today. We also have a couple of MAR affiliates who were sponsors today, Grace House for Women and Beacon Sober Living. So, oh, and Journey House Recovery, 3. So that's great to have so much support from the recovery residents community today.
And if you have more questions for Ron and Brittany, I know that they make themselves available, and you can reach them through the Maine Association of Recovery Residents' website. I know they'd be happy to talk with you. Thank you both so much.
And we'll be at the conference today, and we can respond through chat.
Beautiful. Great. Thank you all so much. We're really excited to turn our attention now to our keynote speaker today, Donna DeConte Brown. Donna's the outreach coordinator for the Wabanaki Women's Coalition, a nonprofit tribal domestic violence and sexual violence coalition that serves Wabanaki tribes of Maine. Donna's going to continue her presentation in the discussion thread after the video. For anyone who has questions, I know that they'd be more than happy to answer. So we'd like to introduce our keynote this year, Donna DeConte Brown.